This short video is a tutorial on how to perform Phaco chop using a Seibel chopper angled 90 degrees with a ball tip and the Phaco wand on quadrant removal settings or quadrant settings without any sculpting. Let's see how these two equal halves were created. We see the Seibel chopper introduced beneath the anterior capsule while the Phaco wand in position 3 is buzzed into the central nucleus. Once the chopper is at the equator of the lens, the two are brought together and separated, creating a shearing force in two equal halves. Here's another example, again beneath the anterior capsule at the lens equator, buzzing in and bringing the two instruments together and apart, creating a shearing force in two equal halves. Performing Phaco chop necessitates the completion of adequate hydrodissection in a freely spinning lens nucleus. Adequate capsule sizes are approximately 5 to 5.5 millimeters in diameter to allow for optic capture once the lens is placed. It's so critical to have an adequate rhexis size to allow for the Phaco wand to be embedded subincisionally. With the subincisional placement, you can buzz forward into the center of the nucleus where it's densest. Then you can bring your chopper towards the Phaco probe and create two equal halves. That's what we see here. See how they are moved apart? No sculpting is required when this technique is employed. Once we have two equal halves, we can begin to sub-chop the heminucleus into other smaller parts. Again, buzzing in with the Phaco probe, subincisionally, bringing the Seibel ball tip chopper to the lens equator beneath the capsule, moving the two together and moving apart, creating two heminuclei. Important to realize is that after you reach the center of the nucleus, you can pull back to position 2 on your foot pedal, engaging the vacuum while turning off the ultrasound energy to avoid moving the Phaco probe too deeply. Of course, using position 3 too much could result in inadvertent placement of the Phaco wand too deep, puncturing the posterior capsule. Buzzed in, position 3 to position 2 with the chopper at the equator, moving apart, creating a shearing force, and two equal halves. One more. Buzzing in, position 3, back to position 2, holding the lens nucleus, moving out with the chopper and bringing them together, and then boom. Shearing forces will create those two equal halves. The lovely part about the ball tip chopper here is that it's very safe. Although you do have to go out to the horizontal equator of each lens to perform horizontal chop, there's a very low chance that you'll inadvertently break the capsule with a sharp edge because it doesn't have any. This is different from vertical chop, where a sharp tip chopper can be embedded into the nucleus well before the equator of the lens and the edge of the rhexis even, and be sufficient to cause enough shearing force to crack the lens into two halves. However, going too deep with a vertical chopper could inadvertently puncture the bag. Everyone should try this way to disassemble a nucleus.